Okay, these are the two consonant sounds we're going to focus on first. It's S as in Sue and Z as in zoo. Okay, so these two sounds are similar, but of course they're different. Now, why are they similar? Because the position of the tongue in the mouth is exactly the same in both sounds. The only difference between the two sounds is that one of them is voiced and one of them is unvoiced. Now, what does this mean? Okay, the S sound, the S sound. I'd like you to make the sound S, like a snake. S, and just touch your throat as you make the sound. S, S. You cannot feel any vibration from your throat. But if you touch your throat and talk naturally, like I'm doing now, you can feel a vibration in your throat. Now, this vibration is your voice making a sound. Okay? So the S sound, S, is unvoiced because there's no vibration. However, the Z sound is voiced. Try making the Z sound like a bee buzzing and touch your throat again. Z. Now you can feel a vibration when you make the sound Z. That is the only difference between the two sounds. And if you don't believe me, switch between the two sounds. You can feel the difference in the voiced and the unvoiced sound. So unvoiced is S, the first sound. Voiced is Z, the second sound. So Sue, zoo. This is the big difference between the two sounds. Now, look at the shape of the lips. S, S. The lips are neutral. S. And we're actually using the inside of our mouth, our tongue, to make the sound. So the air pushes through and makes the S sound. Now, let's look at the word list for S. Listen as always and repeat each word after me. Stop. Sister. Socks. Rice. Peace. Exciting. Smallest. 6. Spaghetti. Did you notice the spellings? Very often it's the S sound, the S spelling, of course, in English. However, sometimes we spell the words with a C. So sometimes, like for example, rice, R-I-C-E, the sound is S, rice. Now, another spelling you may have noticed is X, X. Now, X contains the S sound because the letter X actually represents the K sound and the S sound pushed together. So if you can hear S-I-X, you can listen to the S sound, 6, 6. So the X actually contains the S sound as well, very often in English spelling. So keep that in mind. Now, let's look at the next sound, the Z sound, which is represented by the letter Z. Z. Remember, this is the voiced sound. The position of your tongue and your mouth is exactly the same. The only difference is it's voiced. So let's have a look at the target sound practice list. Listen as always and repeat. Zoo, ears, was, please, buzz, New Zealand, doesn't, animals, scissors. Okay, fantastic. Now, in the spelling, I hope you noticed there's, of course, lots of Z word letters. For example, zoo, Z-O-O. But there's also many examples of S, isn't there? Now, the S letter in English can be sounded like S or Z. It depends on the word. Sometimes it's S and sometimes it's Z. At the end of a word, when the Z sound is appropriate, for example, ears, E-A-R-S, ears, the Z sound is not so strong like it is at the beginning. So listen to the difference. Zoo, ears. So the Z sound at the beginning and the end of a word is very slightly different. At the beginning, it's stronger, zoo. It's much easier to hear, zoo. But when the Z sound is at the end of a word, Z, ears, ears. It's not as forceful, not as strong. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, let's move on to the minimal pairs. This is really going to help you notice the difference between the two sounds. On the left, we have the S sound, and on the right, we have the Z sound. So listen and repeat. Bus, buzz. Peace, peas. Ice, eyes. Sip, zip. Sue, zoo. Price, prize. I hope that's opened your eyes to the difference between the two sounds. Let's move on to the target sounds in use. The first sentence contains many examples of the S sound. So listen and repeat after me. Sam saw 6 scary snakes at the pet store. Well done. The second sentence contains examples of the Z sound. Remember, even though the spelling is S, sometimes we pronounce it with a Z sound. So listen and repeat after me. Thousands of busy bees buzz around flowers. Okay, and sentence 3 contains a mix of the two sounds. Listen and repeat. The zoo we visited was fantastic. We saw zebras, kangaroos, elephants, and skunks. Okay, that completes the first consonant lecture. Let's move on to the next lecture. Before you jump ahead, make sure you look at the next video and download the PDF and MP3s.